into a more emotional side of our channel troll. She's a real person. Let's get into the next one right now. It is number 4 from Forces Unknown. Rhetorical answer by Quell and Silence. I'm used to hearing Quell and Maker, not Quell and Quell.
He branches out, works with others.
Branch it out.
On this globe full of know-it-all teachers and leaders and judges and preachers and self-acclaimed geniuses speaking so much it's just blinking a white noise and tell me the fuck's going on in this bitch. Show us in love in this prison and system of prisons. It's love it or live it, get it. Enough of us in it to fix it. Get it to sputter from sputter to spin it. From summer to winter, cause some of us with it, but none of us did it again and again. What a wonderful pity we slumber. The city sits under the wishes of Martian invasions. Easier facing and complacent mirrors and loveless reflections. The thoughtless sensations, the cause of deception, the loss of the present. Give it a name and then blame it and thank you for saying it. And it would never forget it. Love said it in silence and silence that said it again and again. So prophetic, alone like Elijah, thrown like Elijah. When love is something you do, not something you feel. It's something you hear, it's something you feel. When it's real, it's not just a show, not just a flow. It's nothing to fear. Love is something you do, not something you feel, not something you hear. You feel when it's real, it's not just a show, it's not just a flow. It's nothing to fear. When love is something you do, not something you feel, not something you hear. You feel when it's real and not just a show and not just a flow. It's nothing to fear. For so long we've been sitting to listen to wishes of judges and teachers and speaking and giving us nothing but substitute answers. Cancer and government plugging the system of lovelessness into its own punishment, kingdom of justice. Subjects as functions as enough to get us another step into the grave. While we loving this now, well good luck is insane. Not innate when it born from above when they say it's a game. Think it's too much for this brain and this frame and again and this frame and this cage. It's too much for geniuses just speaking too long for too long. For brothers to say that loved in the cave, and here we are, playing thumb twiddle in the cave. It goes, love is something you do, not something you feel, not something you hear. You feel when it's real and not just a show, not just a flow. It's nothing to fear. When love is something you do, not something you feel, not something you hear. You feel when it's real and not just a show, and not just a flow. It's nothing to fear, y'all. Love is something you do, not something you feel, not something you hear. You feel when it's real and not just a show, and not just a flow. It's nothing to fear. Love is something you do, not something you feel, not something you hear. You feel when it's real and not just a show, and not just the flow. It's nothing to fear.
Love is something you do. I like that. You know, that's what we're doing right here, man. We are creating love right here. We are love makers is what we are. Just a baby making factory over here. I mean, we're down a love lane. We went down Lover's Lane on Temple of Bars podcast, which I tell you is pretty unusual. That doesn't happen too often. But I mean, dude, it's true. Love. I mean, even if you're talking rhetorical answer, like it doesn't matter what the answer is. Love in general, love for music, love for another, love for work, love for illustration, love for creativity, love for thought, love for consciousness, whatever it is, you can kind of put those bars to it.
I
so
think
it
that
is kind
was
of versatile.
I think that was more the love he was referring to, not the romantic love.
No, of course, but I'm saying it is the word love, and it can be used in many ways.
Yeah,
I like it. It was bopping. The first verse was rocking the entire time, and it got more rocking and more rocking. And they both, there was a slight beat change, like a beat tempo change or weird something. And they both kind of, that was the only, little break. That's the only place either of them paused, and it was in the same spot in each verse. So I like the structure of the beat, verse, chorus, verse. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I dug that. 8.7. Ignacio, what are you saying?
Yeah, I liked it too. I really appreciate how the cadence and the tone really lent to, if it felt like percussion on the beat. It was, I really appreciated that, like that to keep the timing the way they did, and even to catch the break and keep the timing of the flow through the break was really nice. It was really dope, man. These guys got some pretty good skills, man. I give it an 8. Give it an 8.
Solid 8. Chuck, what are you saying?
So the consistency on the flow and cadence was nice. My beef with the delivery was, how do I put this? It was almost more like a, and we've heard this before from some of these freestyle type tracks. It was almost more of like a spoken word delivery over a beat. and I don't know how to describe the difference, but you hear the difference when you hear it, you know. And like there, I don't know, that the cadence and the percussive rhythm was there, but maybe that there was like no melodicness to it. I don't know. I don't know how to kind of.
It's missing something.
I don't know how to verbalize it, but it comes across delivering more like spoken word on a beat, which is different. Which
That's
comes
the
across
beauty of
different.
this show is that when we're reacting, we develop these concepts that we can't quite dissect until the next show, and then it gets dissected. You're like, oh, this is what I meant.
And like every once in a while, I'll hear like a track like that, and I'm like, and I don't know how to specifically point to the thing that makes it sound like that, but yeah. So
I think what is cool too about. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Chuck. What are you giving it?
I'm still gonna give it an 8 because I was rocking with it. Like it was cool. But I would have liked that delivery to be a bit different. I don't know how to punctuate
Well, it's hard
that
to explain.
well.
What are you going to say, Ignacio?
I was like, what's kind of cool is like about this show as well is like same track and 3 different, just 3 completely different perspectives and opinions on. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah! And that's why we're going to get into number 5. We now have Apathy and Diabolic. Multisyllabus by Dangerous, featuring Apathy and Diabolic, produced by C. Lance. Let's get into it right away.
Okay.
Big fan of Apathy.